So the aim of this session is for you to be able to ask me questions, okay? Obviously, by now, you would have had a chance to come up, see Beaumarsh, have a bit of a tour of the school, usually with Mrs. Tomlinson. But because of the situation at the minute, obviously you can't do that. So what we thought it would be a good idea is give you a bit of an introduction, talk you through a bit of information, and then give you the chance to basically ask me anything you want about school. Okay, does that sound okay? Yeah, good. Okay, right. I will start with the PowerPoint. Okay, so basically, I'm going to run through this quite quickly because the main aim was to give you a chance to ask questions. Okay, so first of all, I'll introduce you to me. My name is Miss Burton. I am a maths teacher here at Momarsh. This year, I have become numeracy and transition coordinator as well. So what that means is anybody who needs a little bit of extra help with maths, you have an extra lesson a week called numeracy. We try and make it a bit more fun, a bit different, so it's not just your standard maths lessons, okay? And basically that's to support you in your maths, because you use maths in a lot of subjects. But it's my role to plan those lessons and organise it, okay? And obviously transition and working with primary schools as well, like I am now, okay? I've worked here for 5 years. Don't know if I already said that. And it's a really, really good place to be, okay? And everybody's really supportive of each other, students and staff, so you'll find it a good place to come to school, okay? I'm also a form tutor as well. I am a year 10 tutor. But you will have a form tutor as well who you can go to with any concerns, okay? So now you know a little bit about me. I'm going to run through all of this stuff we've got on this PowerPoint, okay? So I'm going to introduce you to a few important people, talk a little bit about the uniform and school day subjects, and then any extracurricular opportunities that you can get involved in, okay? So first of all, couple of people that you need to know first. Mrs. O'Brien is head of the school trust, so that's all the secondary schools and primary schools, and I think your school is one of those. Mr. Turton is our head teacher here at Beaumarsh. If you go onto our website, there is a message from him directed at you and your parents, so you can have a look at that. Mrs. Tomlinson, I'm sure you'll have all met her, and she will get to know you all really, really well over the rest of the year. She is in charge of transition, and she normally does the tours and brings you up to school. But like I said, that obviously can't happen at the minute. The last face is, well, it's a blank face, okay? This is where we would have put a picture of your head of year. But obviously, we don't know who your head of year is going to be at the minute, okay? But as soon as we know who your head of year is, we'll let you know and we'll introduce you to them, okay? And you'll also have a student manager. It stands for Student Progress Manager, SPM, and they work alongside the head of year, okay? Your SPM is a non-teaching member of staff. So all of their time, all of their role in school is to support you and be there for what you need, and any meetings with parents that they need to do as well. So they are there to support you and work alongside your head of year, okay? Right, moving on to the uniform. Anybody who's got brothers, sisters, other family members at Beaumarsh will have probably seen the uniform before. So we've got a plain white shirt, which is probably different to what you wear at primary school. And you need a clip-on school tie. You can see the normal tie is in this photo here is black, white with a bit of gold in. But Kimiko in the photo has got the gold tie on. That's because she got head girl for her year. So she got rewarded with a gold tie. You also need school jumper or cardigan. You can see on the pictures they've got the school logo on, and black trousers or skirt for girls. And again, they have the logo on, not the school logo, the Weasley Partnership Trust logo. And then you need plain black leather shoes, okay? That is a close-up of the uniform. So you can see the jumper or the cardigan, they've got the school logo on, as has the tie. The trousers and the skirt have got the Weasley Partnership Trust logo, the 3 leaves, okay? So they have that logo on to show that they are from... they are approved school trousers, okay? But I think they do them in a few different styles. That is a close up of the PE uniform. Now PE uniform, obviously you've got the PE kit, you could have shorts or PE leggings, and they've got the logo on. You can buy the hoodies as well. Now the hoodies, lots of kids like the hoodies because you can have them personalised, so you can have your name put on the back. Moving on to looking at what the day looks like at Beaumont. So during normal times, we have a 4 lessons a day at school with a tutor period where you spend with your form tutor. That is normally 15 minutes in the morning. Then every lesson is either an hour and 20 or an hour and 15 minutes long. And you have a half an hour break in between lesson 2 and 3 and a half an hour break in between lesson 3 and 4. And you can, in that time, you can go and get food from a number of different places on school site, okay? Obviously, our timetable doesn't look exactly like that at the minute. We've gone a bit more back this week to looking a bit closer to that. We've gone from 3 breaks to 2 breaks, but hopefully by the time you get here, it will be back to normal. Subjects you will study then. So in year 7, you'll study at least 13 subjects. Now, English and drama, you kind of have 3 lessons a week. One of those English lessons is given over to drama. I think that's every, don't know whether that's every week or every couple of weeks. You'd have 3 lessons of maths, 2 lessons of science. MFL is languages, so you would have either Spanish, geography, or French, and you'd have 2 lessons of that a week. And then history and geography, you'd have 1 lesson a week. PE, that is practical PE, you'd have 2 lessons a week. Technology, 2 lessons a week. Now, technology kind of rotate around it on like a 6-week block. So you might do food tech for 6 weeks, then you might do resistant materials for 6 weeks, and you rotate around them like that, okay? ICT, music, art, and social studies, you all study once a week, okay? Social studies is something that is probably new to you, but it basically focuses on lots of current issues, different topical things at the minute that are happening in the world, different news events, anything to do with like friendships and that as well is covered in there. So lots of different things, a big variety. And again, like I mentioned before about numeracy, some of you might also have a literacy lesson. That is if you need a little bit of extra support in your English, you do something called literacy, which again, similar to numeracy, we try and make it a bit different from English so you don't see it as just another English lesson, okay? Right, a little bit about extracurricular opportunities. So there's loads of things you can get involved in here outside of your lessons. So they always put on a school production. Obviously, unsure where that stands this year, but that photo you can see is from the most recent one they did last year, which was Beauty and the Beast. I went to see that one. It was really good, best one I've seen. But they've also done Grease, and they've done High School Musical in the past, along with loads of other different ones. The second picture you can see is movement evening. So movement evening focuses a lot on dance, gymnastics. It's really good. Loads of students get involved in that. You don't just have to be part of the dance club after school. But you can do it in small groups if you want to. You put a group together, audition for it, and hopefully you'll get chosen to perform as part of the evening. And they normally run that a week in February time, okay? Last photo we've got is R Factor. So if you are into singing and you fancy your chances at winning, it's a bit like our version of X Factor. So you audition, and then there's a final with so many people in the final. I think it's about 6, and you get to perform in front of students, teachers, parents can pay to come as well, and that happens in an evening, and then the audience votes for the winner. So loads of different things, but you can also get involved in a number of different clubs, everything from science club to chess club. You could learn a musical instrument. I know people this year learn piano, guitar, drums, loads of different instruments. But there's also loads of school sports clubs you can join. So football, I know loads of you are probably big into football. You could join the team. Netball, I know loads of year 7 girls like to join the netball team. But there's also anything from athletics, rounders, cross country, We've got a climbing wall as well down in the sports hall, and we've got a bit of a fitness suite. So there's like an after school club for that as well. Right, a little bit about upcoming events. Now, these are to be confirmed, really, depending on the situation as it happens. But we've got in March, we have got our second transition evening. So the first one, we had to do it online. So there's loads of videos on our website that you can have a look at if you've not already done so. But the second one, you normally are invited to come up and have a go at little taster sessions in English, maths and science. That's normally a really good evening. Lots of people enjoy it, just to get a bit of a feel for what subjects are like, meet some of the teachers in those subjects as well, and it'll also give you an opportunity to meet your head of year if it's confirmed who it's going to be at that point. The third transition evening is one everybody loves to get involved in, called Meet Your Tutor. So basically in that one, you would meet who you are going to be in a form with, as well as your form tutor. So it gives you an opportunity to meet year sevens who are coming from different primary schools, and also find out who your form tutor is going to be and get to know them a little bit better. And then Monday, 21st of June is when you will start in year 7. So that's the 4-week rollover before summer, but you do start in year 7 then, okay? If you want to find out some more information, you can have a look on our website. There is our Transition 2021 page on there, which has got loads of videos from every different subject. And there's a message on there, like I mentioned before, from Mr. Turton for you and your parents to have a look at. You could also look on our Facebook page, and we've got a YouTube channel with all videos and stuff on it as well, okay? I know I've gone through that pretty quickly, but the main focus of this is to give you time to ask questions. So I've gone through all the information I was going through. So now it's over to you to ask some questions, whatever you want to know, okay?
Right, and I'm just going to pass yours. Go on, Noah. She already answered yours. Who's got a question that's not being answered? Right, and Farah?
Can you repeat that for me, please?
Shout.
Are phones allowed in class or break?
I had somebody asking about phones on one of these that I did last week. Phones, you can bring phones to school, yeah. You're only allowed them out in class if your teacher lets you. Say it's an activity where you might be doing like an online quiz and you could do it on your phone. You're only allowed them out if your teacher lets you in class. They are allowed at break times, but only in the cafeteria and classrooms, okay? So if you're just stood outside on the yard or in corridors, you can't use it then, but you can if you're sat in a classroom or sat in the canteen, okay? Does that make sense?
Okay, any homework and what time of homework?
Can you shout it again? I can't quite hear it.
He's wanting to know about homework, about how much homework and when you get homework.
Okay, homework, it varies depending on your subject. So a subject you might see once a week, they might not set you homework every week. Whereas maths, you will have 3 lessons a week. So you can expect probably one piece of homework, if not every week, every couple of weeks, okay? But some of that might be revision, so producing like a revision poster in preparation for a test. But most of our homework I know for maths in particular, and I think other subjects, are set online. So we use a website called Easy Maths, but there's also a website called Sam Learning, which other subjects use. So you can expect a bit of homework, but we don't want to inundate you and give you too much, okay? Because obviously it's going to be hard for you to keep up with it if everybody's setting your homework every single lesson, okay? That's not going to happen. So there's nothing really to worry about, okay? But if you are struggling with homework and keeping up to date with it, what you could do is speak to your teachers, speak to your SPM. You might be able to use computer rooms at break time, a head start on it, okay? Or we've got a bit of a micro library. There's another question. When will When will I be able to choose my own lessons? This is from Isabel in one of the classes. It's when will you be able to choose your own lessons? Basically, you make your options in year 8. So at the end of year 8, well, partway through year 8, you tend to choose which subjects you want to take for your GCSEs. Now, obviously, you have to pick. You have to do English, maths, and science. But the rest pretty much is free for you to choose, I think. They've changed it how they do it this year, so you have to do history and geography in year 9 and a language as well, but then you can pick from them going into year 10. So you kind of pick your lessons going into year 9 and to start in year 10, but you have to do the core subjects, okay? Any more questions?
Do you need a card for school dinners?
What was that? Do you need a card for school dinners?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we do it on. It like uses your fingerprint, so you get like a little code for your account, and it's linked to your fingerprint, so you don't even have to remember that code if you forget it, because you can just place your finger on the little scanner, and it will recognize your fingerprint and take the money out of your account. Normally, you can top your account up in school at the little machines, but at the minute we can't let you do that. Because of the situation, so your parents top it up online on Parent Pay, but you don't need a card, no.
Nathan,
Will there be any football at break or dinner?
could you hear that? He said, will there be any football at break or dinner?
Yeah, I know loads of the boys like to play a bit of football. We've got the tennis courts, which tennis and netball courts, which are open at break times for you to go on, and loads of different year groups can play football on there. I know sometimes they do them in the sports hall at break time, so it's not like a official club running at break time, but you can play football with your friends, yeah.
No. Mia?
What time do we finish and start the day?
You finish the day at 3:10. You'd start the day at, well, there's a warning bell that goes at 20 to 9, which kind of is there to let you know if you're not already in your tutor room, you need to kind of start heading to your tutor group, which starts at 8:45. Then you'll spend the first 15 minutes of the day with your form tutor up until 9 o'clock. Basically, that's just to get you ready for the day. So they might do various things like different quizzes. There's normally an assembly once a week, or you might do different topical activities. There's normally a theme for a week. So you spend 15 minutes in the morning with that, and you have an hour and 20-minute lesson up to 10:20, another lesson lasting 1 hour and 20 minutes up to 20 to 12, then a half an hour break, then another hour and 20-minute lesson, half an hour break, then a final hour and 15-minute lesson up to 3:10, which is what time you would finish the day. Okay.
And what is
Do you have to have a Chromebook?
Do you have to have your own Chromebook?
No, you don't have to. I know some people choose to buy their Chromebook. You don't have to buy one. If your parents choose to buy you a Chromebook, I think it's registered to school basically until you leave, because if anything goes wrong with it, if it breaks, they will repair it for you free. Okay, so you don't have to buy one. If you choose to buy one, you can do, but you don't use it in every lesson. So you might want to use it for your homework more than you might use it in school. Okay, does that make sense? I've got another question that says, what happens at lunch, and how will I know where to go, and what time lunch is? So lunch is at Well, basically, you can have your lunch at either break time. So you can choose whether you want to eat first break or second break. You might want a bit of food both breaks, okay? It's entirely up to you. So first break is at 20 to 12, while 10 past 12, which is probably really close to lunchtime, whereas the second break is 25 past 1, while 5 to 2. So that's a little bit later. So if you're used to eating earlier, you might want to choose to eat first break. But like I said, you could have something both breaks. At lunchtime, you can go to any classrooms. So you can sit in any classrooms. And then you could also go to the canteen. There is loads of outdoor space you could go to, provided it's not raining. There's a little shelter under the in front of the where the library used to be, in front of the music rooms, with loads of benches where you can sit out there. There's a little bit of grassed area down there as well, and there's obviously the courts where you could go to down there. So there's loads of places to go. There's loads of places to get food from as well. So not just inside the canteen. We've got some little canteen hatches outside. And outside the main hall where you could get food from there as well. So loads of different places to go. You can meet your friends if they're in different classes, and spend your break times with them. Okay. Any other questions?
Erin?
Do you have your locker, or do you carry like your bag with all your books to your class?
Can you repeat that? Sorry.
She says, do you have your own locker, or do you have to carry your bag with all your...
You have to carry your bag, unfortunately. There is lockers here, but nobody tends to use them. I've not seen them used in the 5 years I've been here. I think they've moved some of them now. So yeah, carry your bag with you. But you don't have to. A lot of subjects let you leave your books at school unless you're taking them home for homework. So you don't have to carry all your books for every single day with you. So if you've got your books at home, only bring the ones you need for that day, and then you peek it so you're not lugging around loads and loads of other stuff, okay?
Go on, Ella.
What happens if you get lost on the way to your next class?
She's worried about getting lost on her way to class.
Oh, don't worry about that. When you start, all the older kids are always really, really helpful. This is what is so great about here, because the older ones take the new year sevens under their wing a bit, and they will help you find your way around. They'll show you where to go. And walk you to your class if you get lost, okay? And then obviously your teachers will be very understanding that you are new to the school. You might not know where you're going. You're gonna get lost a little bit. Obviously, we do give you a little bit of a map so you can see, but your teachers will be really understanding, so it'll be absolutely fine, okay? A reminder: the day starts at 8:45. Okay. Any other questions?
Right, go on, Caden.
Does it have to be a Chromebook, or can it be a different?
Can you say that again? Does it have to be a Chromebook or what?
Or can it be a different brand?
Well, if you buy, you don't need one. You don't have to have one. So if you've got your own laptop or something at home, or a tablet where you can do your homework on, that is absolutely fine. It does not have to. You don't have to have a Chromebook, okay? But school gives you the option to purchase a Chromebook if you want one, okay? But it's entirely your choice. If you've already got a laptop, you don't need to buy one, okay?
Which gate do we go in, the bottom gate or the top gate?
Whichever one suits you. At the minute, because we're trying to keep the year groups separate, we've got some year groups coming in the bottom gate, some coming in the top gate. But normally, you just choose which one you want to go in, which is closer to you. So if you live closer to bottom gate, go bottom gate. But if you live closer to the top gates and you walk in school, come into school the top gate. It's entirely up to you. There's no set rules. Okay.
Noah?
How many years is that in What year does it go up to?
It goes up to year 11. So when you start, there'll be year 7s, which will obviously be you lot, year 8s, who were this year's year 7s, and then we'll have years 9, 10, and 11. So you will be about 11 when you start, and the oldest kids will be 15 or 16. Okay, so yeah, there's 5 different year groups, years 7 to 11. Okay.
I think the other class have typed a few questions.
Oh yeah, thank you. Will we need to bring our own stationery? Avery is asking. So yes, ideally. I know at primary school sometimes you're given your stationery at the start of the year, but yes, so we kind of say make sure you've got a pencil, a pen, preferably a spare pen as well, and a ruler and a rubber. Okay. They're the main things. So pen, pencil, ruler, and a rubber. Pencil sharpener you could do as well, but I'm sure we have loads of those that you could borrow. Okay. If you forget your equipment one day, or your pen runs out at some or something, don't worry about it, because there will be stuff you can borrow. Okay. But yeah, ideally, bring your own equipment. Okay, so some people like to make sure they're very well prepared and they've got like a protractor and a compass and that for maths as well, but you don't need to, because we've got those as well. If you want to buy your own calculator, you can do, but we do have calculators that we lend out. But if you want to buy your own calculator, we recommend like a scientific one. You can get them at most supermarkets or shops. Okay. Logan is asking what happens at wet break. At wet break, you can just go inside. Okay, so if it's raining, we don't make you stand out in the rain. So you can come inside anyway and stay in the classrooms at break time. But if it's raining, yeah, we don't force you to be outside. You can be in the classrooms or the canteen. It's up to you where you want to go. Okay.
What type of kids are there? Are they more nice or some of them like, who should be a boy or who should not be a boy?
He's wanting to know if all the children are nice.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, you have got nothing to worry about. Loads of the kids here, like I said, when you start, they see that you're the new year 7s, and they will essentially take you under their wing. They will show you where you need to be if you get lost. They'll help you if you can't find your way around, or you're confused about something. Okay, they're really nice. They're not going to be really mean to you and point you in the wrong direction. Okay, our kids are not like that. Okay, so you've got nothing to worry about. Okay.
How old are you when you leave the
Sorry, can you repeat that for me?
How old are you when you leave the convent?
Oh, when you leave, you'll be 16, because you will start when you're 11, and our year 11s will have their 16th birthday during year 11. So when you leave us, you will be 16.
Yeah.
How do we know what class to go to?
How will you know what class to go to? So you'll know what class to go to because you will have a timetable. So on your timetable will be written down which teacher you've got, which subject you've got, and which classroom you'll be in. So all the classrooms, we've got like maths 1, maths 2, maths 3. So they're named a bit like that, okay? And they're all in a certain block. We'll give you a bit of a map when you start, which shows where all these classrooms are. So we've got like English in one block, maths in another block, art and history in another block, science, languages, and geography in another block. So you'll be able to look at your timetable, see what class you've got, what room you're in, and what teacher you've got. And then if you get lost or anything, any member of staff or any other students will help you and point you in the right direction.
Nathan?
Would it be like grades in math, English, like something that is easier?
He's wanting to know if there'll be an ability groups.
Yeah, when you start, normally for maths anyway, we put you into set ability classes based on information from your primary schools, okay? And then after you do your SATs tests, when we get your results back from those, we put you into, we change it and put you into proper sets, okay? So at the minute in year 7, we've just put them into sets because obviously the current year 7s didn't do their SATs test, so they started off in mixed ability, just in their form groups. But normally we do put you into sets straight away. So we've got like set 1 is the highest ability, and then set 2, set 3, set 4, and you normally have those on each half of the year. Okay. In some subjects though, they do teach you in mixed ability groups. I think geography teach you in mixed ability groups to start with. Art, I think you just have it in I don't know if it's in your form groups, but it is mixed ability, okay? Social studies is mixed ability, languages, I think, is mixed ability initially. But I know English, maths, and science are in ability groups. The other subjects, I'm not 100% on, okay?
Hi there.
Is there going to be like any topics like primary school, like we're doing now? Like
Sorry, will you repeat that?
is there going to be any like topics what we have in primary school, like we're just going to focus on that?
Yeah, there'll be different topics to what you've not covered in primary schools, but there will be topics that you have done in primary school. Some of the topics you have done, you might take it a little bit further, so you might do a bit more work on it. Okay, but yeah, some of the stuff is not all going to be completely brand new. I know some of the maths work we've done so far with the new year 7s, quite a lot of that they have done in primary school already, but we just take it that little bit further. Do a bit more work on it. So yes, some topics you'll have seen before, some will be completely brand new, okay? Depends on the subject, it depends what topic they're doing at the time. Rosie has asked, will there be no non-uniform days? Yeah, we had a non-uniform day only a couple of weeks ago, and it was called Hello Yellow Day, the one that was in support of Young Minds. So we raised a lot of money for Young Minds charity. And I know some of the year 8s, current year 8s, even sold some extra stuff as well to help raise more money. So it was really, really good. And loads of people were embracing the theme and wearing yellow. Normally we do Christmas jumper day as well, and various other non-uniform days scattered throughout the year, okay? We've done Wear It Pink Day as well, and various different ones. Kelsey has asked, what happens if we get a detention? Now, hopefully we won't get detentions, but sometimes you might get a detention if you forget to do your homework, okay? Quite a lot of teachers might be understanding, and if you bring it to them in the next day, they will not give you a detention. However, if you do get one, basically your SPM or head of year will probably speak to you, and it does get put down as it does kind of get put down, noted down that you've got a detention, but it's normally, sorry, wait for the bell to stop. If you just heard the bell, that the bell is signaling the end of lesson, okay? So you will get used to that sound when you start. We have had it without bells for the past few weeks, and I'll be honest, I got used to it being without bells, so it's strange to have the bells back again. Going back to the detentions though, if you're late for school, you might get a detention to make up the number of minutes that you were late, for example. So it depends on what you've done as to what happens if you get a detention. So it depends on how serious it is, the reason you've got the detention, as to what the consequence of it will be, what the outcome will be, okay? Another question, are we able to bring water bottles? Freya's asked this. So yes, you are able to bring water bottles. At the minute, we've got little water fountains. We've got a couple of them. You can't, I don't think you're allowed to use them at the minute. But hopefully by the time you get here, you will be allowed to use them. But if you forget to bring your water bottle, you can buy a drink. So we sell bottles of water and that in the vending machines or in the canteen anyway, okay? Has anybody got any more questions?
Aaron?
What happens if you don't wear the comp uniform?
What happens if you don't wear your uniform?
Yeah.
If you don't wear your uniform, what happens is you will probably have to borrow one, okay? So if you forget your tie, for example, you'll be able to borrow one. If you forget your cardigan or jumper, you'll normally be able to borrow one. It depends on how many times you forget it or you don't wear it as to what happens next, whether whether your parents will be contacted to make sure you've got this piece of uniform and you've not lost it. Okay, but if you only forget it once, then it's nothing major. You just have to borrow something. Okay. Oliver's asked, when will we take tests? Now it's different for different subjects. So in maths, we've just done a test last week, the end of our first unit in year 7. So you tend to have end of unit tests, so like smaller tests that last about half a lesson, maybe something like that. After every topic, there might be, say, 3 topics in a term up to Christmas, but you might also have like an end of term test as well. So I can only go with that for maths, because I know maths, we used to have more tests than any other subjects, but we have kind of reduced them down a little bit, so we've got a few less now. But your teachers will let you know well in advance of when you've got a test, to give you time to revise for it and make sure you're fully prepared. Okay. Has anybody got any more questions, or have I answered everything you need to know?
Right, go on, Nathan.
If you do get detention, how long will it be for?
Is this if you get a detention?
Yeah, if you get detention, how long is it for?
Depends on what you've done. So normally, if we have to just put you in for a detention, any of your subject teachers, for example, if they have to put you in for a detention, what will happen is you would normally get like a half an hour detention after school. Say you've been not very well behaved in your lesson. Hopefully that won't happen and nobody will have to put you in for detention. It'll normally be like half an hour after school. If you've forgotten your homework or not done your homework, and you might have been given a second opportunity to do it, but you've still not done it, you'd probably get a half an hour detention after school. Some teachers will let you go after you've finished it. If you've been really bad in lesson, which hopefully won't be the case, and you end up having to be sanctioned from that lesson, now that means you are sent out of that lesson, not allowed to come back into that lesson for that day. If you've been really bad, then normally that's a longer detention after school. So I'm not quite sure exactly how long. It's at least 40-50 minutes, something like that. Okay, but yeah, it depends on what you've done. If you've just been late for school, say you're 10 minutes late for school, normally you'd make up those 10 minutes and then that'll be it. So it depends.
Stefan?
What will happen to class dojo?
Do you have class dojos?
Some teachers use it. It depends on the teacher, the subject. I know when my form were in, well, the year 10 now, but when they were in year 7, we did it in year 7 and 8 as a bit of a form tutor kind of competition. So we awarded points for if they'd done their homeworks, if they got their correct uniform, if they were on time, all stuff like this. So there was points available for that, and then it was like a reward for a competition at the end of term. So it depends on your teacher as to whether they use it. Okay, some use it, some maybe not so much, but they might have their own version of class dojo instead.
Summer?
How long is the lesson?
Each lesson is either an hour and 20 minutes or an hour and 15 minutes. At the minute, we've kind of messed all that up. It's not quite as it should be, but yeah, it's either going to be, I think the first 2 lessons are both an hour and 20. The next one is an hour and 15, and the last lesson of the day is an hour and 15, I think. But pretty much an hour, either an hour and 15 or an hour and 20 minutes, okay?
Erin?
Is PE usually outside or inside?
It depends on what you're doing. So if you are doing netball, football, obviously you can expect those to be outside. But it depends if it's raining really, really badly. They might rearrange it so you can be inside. We've also got like trampolines in the gym, so obviously that will be inside. So we've got a gym, a sports hall, and the main hall that they use for PE, as well as the tennis, netball courts, and the field to play football, cricket, rounders on. Okay, so it depends on what you're doing as to whether you be indoors or outdoors.
Right, we've got one last question. Go on, Heidi.
Is there still going to be TT Rockstar?
Is that? Did you say TT Rockstars?
Yes.
Yeah. Now we've talked about this a little bit in the past, okay? In terms of using it for maths and numeracy. At the minute, we don't use it, but there's nothing to say that we won't introduce it in the future, okay? So at the minute, no, we don't have it, but it could change, okay?
All right, that's it now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for asking all your questions. I hope I've been able to answer them. If you come up with any more questions that you think, oh, I forgot to ask that, I should have asked that, what you could do is Mrs. Tomlinson will be back in at some point within the next few weeks, I think. I'm not sure exactly when, but you could ask her a question. Or if it's really urgent and you think, wow, I really, really need to know that, you might find that information on our website and all those videos, or you could get your teacher to either email me and I will reply with the answer, okay? Thank you. I hope that you have found it useful and I've answered all your questions. And I look forward to seeing you when you start, okay?
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.